The metal cuffs didn't bite. They chilled. A slow, gnawing cold that sank into my bones, not just my skin. It wasn't pain. It was something worse. A memory. 1,000 buried fears rising in unison. The officer standing before me was a wall of calm authority, his expression unreadable as he delivered the blow. You're under arrest for kidnapping your sister-in-law's daughter. His voice was flat, practiced, the kind that said the same words to too many men before me. But none of them were standing in a suburban driveway with a 6-year-old child's hand still curled trustingly in their own. Emma, her tiny fingers clung to mine like I was the only safe thing in the world. And for a while, I believed I was. Then I heard her voice. "Elise?" I whispered under my breath. She stepped forward, her eyes glistening, not with tears, but performance. Her voice was theatrical, sharp as glass, every word rehearsed precision. "He took my child. He stole her, without my permission." The world slowed, everything around me muffled, like I'd been dunked beneath the surface of a nightmare. But then Emma, my anchor, tugged at my coat and leaned in close. Her voice, soft but sure, slipped through the fog. "Mom told you to pick me up, right?" Even the officer hesitated, his eyes flicking toward her, something shifting in his face. Doubt, maybe. Humanity. But he didn't move. He couldn't. I had trusted Elise. Always. She cried at my wedding like she was losing something. Brought me lasagna when my father died. She was there, present, kind, almost too kind, especially after Claire, my wife, began pulling away. Corporate trips, late meetings, polished smiles, distance wrapped in designer scarves. So when Elise sent a simple text, "Asterisk, can you keep Emma tonight?" Something urgent came up. Asterisk, I didn't even pause. Emma was more than family. She was quick with her jokes, brilliant with crayons, always leaving little drawings beneath my office door like offerings from a tiny artist with a giant heart. When I pulled up to Elise's house, she didn't come out, just a distant wave from the porch. I should have known. That was the first warning bell I ignored. Claire was away in Seattle, allegedly, some corporate retreat. She barely answered my calls anymore. When she finally did, her voice came to the phone like fire. "What did you do?" she hissed. "Elise said you kidnapped Emma. The police are on their way." Before I could answer, the line cut. And minutes later, the knock came. You don't really understand silence until you're in the back of a squad car. And that night, the holding cell wasn't filled with rage or panic, just stillness, like my soul had been wrung out and left to dry. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst came later, when the truth surfaced. There was a nanny cam hidden inside Emma's stuffed bear. An accident, really. A gift from a well-meaning neighbor. The audio it captured shattered everything. Claire's voice, ice cold and clear. Asterisk, just tell him to pick her up, then call the cops. Say, he didn't have permission. It'll destroy him. Asterisk, Elise's reply was hesitant, almost broken. Asterisk, are you sure? Asterisk, then Claire again, sharper than ever. Asterisk steel. I need him shattered. I'll take the house, the investments, everything in the divorce. Asterisk, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I let my heart collapse inside, my chest in silence. Then I went to work. I hired a private investigator. Not the kind you find in the yellow pages, but someone who works in silence with precision. 3 weeks later, I had a folder in my hands. Photos. Records. Claire and Elise. Not just co-conspirators, but lovers. Their affair buried under years of lies. Those trips to Seattle? Fiction. Fabrications to cover stolen weekends together. Then came the financial part. I moved money quietly. The house was mine. So were the stocks. So was a trust fund Emma's late father left behind, before Elise buried his memory under casseroles and fake tears. I bought a burner phone. Sent the nanny cam audio, the affair photos, the police report Elise had filed. Every cruel puzzle piece. To the right people. Her boss. Her HR department. Her ex-husband's lawyer. And one more, Emma's school therapist. The only adult Emma had ever opened up to about the screams in her sleep. Then I planned the finale. A celebration. Claire's triumphant return from her trip, Elise's birthday, a dual party. My suggestion. They loved the idea. Everyone would be there. Co-workers, friends, some who already suspected the cracks behind their polished lives. When dessert was half eaten and the laughter soft, I rose, wine glass in hand. "A gift," I said, smiling, "for both of you." Silence rippled through the room. Elise's grin faltered. Claire's eyes narrowed. I pressed play. The nanny cam recording filled the air. Claire's voice. Elise's. Cold. Calculating. Unforgivable. The room transformed. Faces tightened. Whispers spread like wildfire. Someone muttered, "My God." I turned to the therapist, sitting in front. Her eyes were glassy, tears welling. "This," I said, voice steady, "is why Emma's been waking up screaming. She asked me last week if bad mothers go to jail." Claire bolted. Elise tried to follow. But this time, the officer wasn't there for me. "El Morgan, you're under arrest for filing a false report and endangering a minor." The cuff snapped shut. On her. The aftermath was swift. Claire lost her job. Elise lost custody. Emma was placed in foster care, briefly, until I stepped in. The state saw what they needed. A quiet home, a steady hand, stability. I wasn't her biological father, but I became her safe place. Claire's lawyer called once, fishing for a settlement. I sent back one photo. Me and Emma, side by side, coloring. Behind us, the sun pouring through an open window. Peace made visible. No reply ever came.